Have you ever wondered what's really involved into purchasing a pre-sale or pre-construction investment? Welcome to my YouTube channel, Sincere Real Estate Chat. My name is Axel Ziba, and I'm here to sincerely chat about different subjects of real estate and putting a video out there every Thursday. So make sure you hit that like button right there and subscribe to my channel. That's a better suggestion. In this video, you and I will be discussing about pre-sale, and that's the hottest subject out there. A lot of people are interested to know what's really involved into pre-sale investment. We'll be discussing 10 points involving this investment. Number one is simply location. Location is one of the most important factors when you're investing your money. Other than the real estate trends and prediction, you also need to look into crime rates, schools nearby, and also other amenities. And one other factor you want to consider is also the other developments around the area and how they're doing. Vancouver is a beautiful city overall. We do have different patch of neighborhood offering their own charm and uniqueness. That's one of the reasons that location and finding the best location is important. I came across to many investors that they're looking into entire Vancouver and where to park their money. That's not being focused, and that's a rookie mistake that a lot of first-time home buyers or a lot of avid investors do by looking into a vast area and not understanding the specific trends for that particular areas. I know I may be losing you right there, but it's a little bit more complicated than you originally imagined. Well, Vancouver is Vancouver, so I can just park my money somewhere. That's not the way of investment. And that's where I come in. With my knowledge of the area trends and different patch of neighborhood, I can assist with many investors' question in regards to what's the growth rate for that particular area or sub area has been for the past 5 or 10 years. And that is going to be accumulating some more knowledge for you so you can make the best and educated decision. Let's get into number 2, and that's a developer's reputation. No matter what the market is, whether it's a seller or buyer's market, it is important to investigate who's the developer and what kind of projects they had before. What's their reputation like? What's their financial liabilities? Do they owe money? How many projects they have completed? And from those projects, is there any legal action against them? These are all important questions that we need to investigate together. You need to research all this information, making sure your money is safe. Timeline. That is on number 3. If you're a first-time pre-sale home buyer and you're not familiar with this process, you need to understand that pre-sale or pre-construction is a term and you're buying a promise of a future. Let me explain it a bit further. Let's say if you're on a time crunch and you're practically at a rental place that you have to provide amount of notice to take over into your new place. Now, here is the tricky part, because when it comes to pre-sale and pre-construction, although it gives you an estimated completion date, those estimated as a cost estimate, it may be extended. Sometimes the developer has procrastination in the build, or sometimes they have hard time getting the occupancy permit. There are many third factors involved into providing you with a completion date. What I advise you when it comes to timeline, not to be dependent on an estimated completion. Always give 3 to 6 months of a playing ground. That's because to make certain that you have a place to move into, so you can provide a proper notice to your current landlord, or if you have sold your place, to have a proper closing date so you don't have to rent an Airbnb. Let's put it in a simple way. Contract terms, and that's on number 4, because it is a contract and it's binding. The question comes in, when does a contract becomes binding? Put it in a simple way, based on the Real Estate Act, you have 7 days to resign or going through rescission period, meaning you have 7 days to change your mind for any reason and nobody's going to question you if you don't feel that it's the project that you want to invest into. Now, if the 7-day completes and you submit the deposit that is required, and you follow all the terms of the contract needs to be satisfied by both sides and is signed by both parties as an accepted offer, then that accepted offer turns into a binding contract after the 7 days. So that 7 days, it's really important to do your due diligence, meaning to review all the contract terms and understand. In addition to the contract, you need to also receive the disclosure of that project from that developer and also have to acknowledge that you have received it. Now, that disclosure, it's a legal document that it's maybe this thick or maybe 400 to 500 pages containing a lot of legal words. And that is best to be reviewed by your legal advisor. Number 5 is financing. And financing is something that you don't need right away, as most pre-construction or pre-sale are going to be completed whether 1 year, 2 year, or a few years from now. So you don't really need a mortgage. I had many conversations with many first-time home buyers that they have no idea how much home they can afford. It is important to discuss your option with your mortgage advisor prior to searching for presale homes. That's going to give you an advantage of your current situation and predict how far you're going to be within the next 2 or 3 years when the project's completed. And, better yet, submit all your documents, taxes, and everything, and go through a pre-approval process. That's going to help you to understand how much home you can afford now. So practically in the future, if you definitely need that confirmation approval, it's not a surprise to you and you can complete that process. And next is hidden cost. That's our number 6. Cost of a closing, taxes, lawyer fees, appraisal, walkthrough, reviewing documents, cost of due diligence. These are all costs that you need to consider. Specifically 5% GST taxes that not many people know. As a brand new property that you're purchasing, you need to pay that 5% GST. In addition, maybe if the property is above $750,000 and it's a brand new property, that may not be exempt for property tax transfer fees or PTT. When it comes to taxes, it's best to get a professional advice. As a real estate advisor, it is my job to open your eyes to understand what the different costs are involved, so there will be no surprises in the future for you. Number 7 is resale potential. What does that mean? It means that you need to purchase something that eventually, at one point, you want to improve that and go to a bigger home so you can easily sell it. If you purchase something that is restricted toward all niche markets, it has less amount of buyers as potential, right? So what I'm trying to say in here, purchase something as an investment that is open to most niche markets. The less restriction you have on your current purchase, the more open your niche market is and better opportunity and better value for your resale opportunity. Number 8 is building standards and building material. Whether you're an investor, you're purchasing something to move into yourself, it is important to understand the regulation and requirement of the particular area where the building is located is. To name a few, maybe you need to consider safety regulation and standards, environmental regulation, and also energy efficient regulation and safeties. In addition to this, you also need to know the material that the building is made of. Why? If you're purchasing a wood frame, what are the pros and cons? If you're purchasing concrete and steel, what's the pros and cons? You need to know the material you're investing your money to. Number 9 is the cost. In most cases, when we enter a sales gallery at a pre-construction and take a look at a dollar per square foot or prices, it may be a bit more than a current market valuations. Why, you may ask? And that is reasonable because this project is going to be completed in a few years from now. So the developer needs to consider inflation, the cost of material, cost of labor, and also the increasing cost of living. Well, developers are in it to also make money other than providing you with a quality product. As a buyer, you need to get inside the project and completely analyze the price you're paying for. What is that stamped from? Why is it priced for such dollar per square foot? And you need to analyze that by using me as your professional real estate agent to give you that sources and research of where these prices are come from in comparison to what currently has been sold in today's market and what the trends of a future market would be. What are the predictions? These are things you need to know. And lastly, one of the most important part within that 7 business days is your due diligence. That concludes our number 10. What's due diligence? Making sure you review entire documentation. Make sure you do your research before selecting that location. Make sure you know how much are the dollar per square foot you're investing in now and what are the predictions in the future that's based on and resourced from the current trends. What are the deposit instructions and are they spread throughout so you can easily afford them? What are the amendment to disclosures? Say what? Oh yes. During the course of construction, many things may change. And for that, the developers have the right to amend the first disclosure they have given you. And that is covering our 10 points of the guide of investment for pre-sale. Conclusion, pre-sale investment and pre-construction can be a great investment if you do your due diligence and make sure you do your research. Thank you for joining the Real Estate Revolution and my Sincere Real Estate Chat YouTube. If you haven't hit the like yet, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.